Hello everyone. In the previous session, I was talking about how do we interact with the files, what are the utilities we have. Let us see some more, and I will show you one or two applications using them which will be part of your lab exercises, and as part of lab exercises you are supposed to execute them. You can go for a fully distributed cluster or you can work on standalone pseudo distributed mode. Now, from the file system, there is a file system class. I told file system class and IO utils are very important for us. So, last one we have seen IO utils methods and all. Now, we shall see some of the methods which are available in file system class. These are some of the methods that are available in file system class which are mostly used. Now, if you see, there are three signatures for get method. Get method which is used whenever you are trying to work with the file system. First one you see, and if you are observing, all these methods are static methods, right? So, you can work with them directly. If you see static file system, it belongs to the file system class. The name of the method is get method. What it is doing is it returns the configured file system implementation. If at all you are working with HDFS, it says I am working with HDFS file system. The next one, static file system get URI and the configuration. What it will do? It will tell for that specific URI what is the configuration that is set. The next one, static file system get URI, configuration and username. This one, what it says, get a file system instance based on the URI you are specifying and depending on the configuration and the user. The user is allowed to work with what configuration and what URI. This generally happens in a fully distributed cluster. Each user might be given an authorized access to a specific URI under a specific configuration. So, whenever we are working in such cases, we might need to see the effect of, or we might get a chance to see the effect of these methods, right? When we are working with pseudo distribution, maybe we should be happy with the first get method. Now, opening an existing file. When we are learning C, C++, we know how to work with opening a file. There are various modes. You will specify in what mode you want to open the file, all those things. Similarly, when we are working with HDFS under Hadoop, we should also know how do I give the function call in order to open a file. So, if you see, in order to read a file from HDFS, we need to open an input stream. Why input stream? You want to read contents from a file, the file is already existing. So, you can do it by using the open method just like C and C++ notation. This is a public method belonging to FS data input stream. FS always should be understood as file system. FS data input stream. I want to read contents from a file, so you are having an option to work with input stream. So, FS data input stream. What is the method? Open, and you should specify the complete path of the file. While specifying the path of the file, you can specify absolute notation for the path or relative notation for the path, your convenience. Then one more, public abstract FS data input stream open method only with two parameters. If you see, there are two choices for open method. First one, you are just specifying path of the file. Second one, you are specifying path of the file and also the buffer size. Whenever I am reading, how many characters you want to read at a time. If you don't specify the buffer size in case of the first version of the open method, the default buffer size will be 4K, 4 kilobytes. Then I want to create a new file. The file is not existing. I want to create a new file and I want to perform some write operations onto the file. That is the situation where you will be creating a new file. So, if you want to create a new file, we have public FS data output stream. Now, if you see, we are writing into the file. So fs data output stream, what is the method? Create, and to which the parameter is the path where you want to create the file. There are overloaded versions for the create method, wherein you can specify the buffer size when you are writing into the file, the block size of the file, and what permissions you want to issue for the file. Various overriding versions are there. Now I will show you some of the commands which we work in Linux or Unix environment, how their Java implementation looks like. Now example Java implementations. For the first one, cat file name, this command displays the contents of the file. I want to see what are the contents at a specific file. So let us see how it is implemented. Public class file read from HDFS, this is the name I have given, you can definitely change it, these are not fixed. So public class file read from HDFS, I want to read contents of the file, that is how the command works. In that I have the main method, public static void main, string array args, which is likely to throw an exception. What is the possible exception? Whenever we are working with files, this command is trying to read contents from a file. What if the file is not existing? It is likely to throw file not found exception. So just to be on safer side, whenever you work with file oriented commands, they all throw exceptions. So you need to handle the exceptions. So public static void main throws exception. What are we trying to do? String URI is equal to args of 0. Whenever you are working with all the commands of Hadoop, they work with command line arguments only. You cannot directly call a method. You should be working with command line statements. So whatever you have specified, how do we specify the command? Cat file name. So file name should be a parameter. String URI is equal to args of 0. Whatever the user has specified file name, that will be caught into this. Then you have to work under a configuration, so you are creating an object of configuration. Then what are you specifying? Taking a file system object, you are getting the file belonging to a specific configuration. Then what did you specify? fs data input stream is instantiated and you are initializing it to null. Under this, under try, what are you doing? As I told, we are working with exceptions. So you need to see under try block, what are you trying to do? You are trying to open the file and associate it with the input stream. After that, you are using ioutils dot copy bytes. From the file, copy these many number of bytes. At a time, how many bytes are we trying to read out? If you see, in stands for the file which is associated with the input stream. Where should I copy? This is the source. Where should I copy? System.out. If you specify another file name, the output will be copied into another file. If I have used system.out, display the contents onto the screen. So you are specifying the destination as system.out. Then what is the next thing? 4096. At a time, how many characters or how many bytes you want me to take from the file? False. Don't close the file. I will explicitly write the close method. Then once you finish, you are printing system.out.println end of the file. This message, this is optional, just to make sure we are reading till the end of the file. And finally, what are we trying to say? ioutils.close stream input. Whatever file was opened or the user was trying to open, that file is to be closed. Just because I set the last parameter as false means after reading, don't close the file. I want to explicitly give the close command. We have to specify this one. Had it been given as true, you can skip this line. The same thing, this is the implementation for list command. List will show the contents of a folder. When we are working with Windows, you just double click on a folder, it will show the listing of the folder. Similarly, in Linux, you have to specifically say ls, stands for list out all the contents of a folder. So this is the Java implementation for that. Have a quick look at this. One more, writing a file into HDFS. I want to copy a file into HDFS. I want to store my file there. So you are creating a new file and you are trying to store it into HDFS. This is the implementation. Now, when you are working with all the Linux commands, file related commands, there is a chance of working with some, what do we say, we call them as global characters, right? Whenever you are working with these global characters were almost used when we are working with the DOS operating system, the initial fundamental MS-DOS. The same thing we used to work with the Linux operating system also has some global characters. We just call them as glob characters. These characters will help us to cut short through the commands we are typing. So if you see quickly, whenever you are trying, these you might be working under pattern matching. So the same kind of characters. Whenever I specify asterisk or a star, it matches 0 or more characters. Every question mark in the command matches a single character. So likewise, exclusive, not matching, inclusive, range of characters to match. So these are all various global characters or escape sequence which we can use when you are working with the commands in the Linux. Have a quick look at them. I will show an exercise and the output of that using these characters. Just see the directory architecture or the folders we have. This is the root. Under the root I have two folders, 2007, 2008. There are two folders. Under 2007 I have 12 is one folder in which I have two subfolders 30 and 31. Under 2008 I have a folder 01. Under this again I have 01, 02. This is the folder architecture for example. Now say for example with my ls command I have given HDFS, DFS you need to give -ls, this is the command. Post ls I have given / and star. What does that mean? From the root folder show me all the contents. So in the root folder what are the contents we have? Under the root folder I have only two subfolders 2007, 2008. That is how the output will be given. Then I have given from the root show me all the contents, and in those each one again show me the contents. So what it will show? Under the root folder what are the subfolders? 2007 or 2008. Again under 2007 what folder do I have? 12 / under 2008 what subfolder do I have? 01. So likewise whenever you are working with them you can specify these globs which will help you to give the command, and it will take just like pattern matching and shows the corresponding output. This also can be used as one of your lab exercises to get hold on the file system commands and the glob characters. Thank you.